Let's get right into it. We are living through, right now, one of the biggest shifts in global power in almost 100 years. And a massive part of that story is being written by the BRICS bloc, with India getting ready to take the driver's seat in designing a whole new kind of world order.
And really, at the absolute heart of this whole transformation is a question that, even 10 years ago would have sounded crazy. Is the 80-year reign of the US dollar, the very foundation of the global economy since World War II, is it finally facing a real challenge? That question is exactly what we're going to unpack here.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the massive economic rebalancing that's already happened. Then, we'll dive into India's specific blueprint for when it takes charge in 2026. After that, we'll break down the financial revolution they're building, see the incredible resource power they have, and finally, we'll ask the big question: what does this all mean for the future?
All right, first up, a world rebalancing. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't some prediction about the future. This is a fundamental shift in economic power that has already happened. Just look at this chart. This right here is a historic tipping point. For the very first time, the expanded BRICS Plus group, when you measure their economy by what their money can actually buy, that's purchasing power parity, they are now a bigger slice of the world economy than the G7. You can see it right there. Over 40% for BRICS Plus compared to under 29% for the G7. The world's economic center of gravity has, it's officially moved.
So with all that economic muscle as a foundation, let's look at India's plan. When India takes the BRICS presidency in 2026, it's not just going to be some ceremonial thing. No, it's the moment a very detailed, strategic blueprint gets put into action.
And this blueprint, it's built on 4 key pillars. First up is resilience, which is all about creating supply chains for things like food and energy that can't be easily disrupted or weaponized. Next is innovation, basically using India's incredible success with digital public infrastructure to help out the rest of the global south. The third pillar is cooperation, pushing for some real overdue reforms at big institutions like the UN and the IMF. And finally, sustainability, focusing on leading the green transition in a way that's actually fair for developing countries.
And this quote really gets to the heart of the philosophy behind the whole plan. India is framing this not as some anti-West movement, but as a humanity-first approach. The idea is to build a system that puts the needs of the developing world, the global south, front and center, especially when it comes to things like healthcare, technology, and climate.
Okay, this brings us to what might be the most disruptive part of the entire plan, the financial revolution. See, BRICS isn't just talking about a new system. They are actively building the plumbing, the technology, to make an alternative to the dollar a reality.
So this slide lays out the core difference perfectly. On one side, you've got the current system, SWIFT. Think of it as a centralized hub. Everything runs through the dollar, and it's vulnerable to sanctions. On the other side, you have the vision for BRICS Pay. It's decentralized, lets countries use their own currencies, and allows for direct peer-to-peer payments. It basically cuts out the middleman entirely. Let's make this super simple. Imagine Saudi Arabia sells oil to India. Right now, that deal probably involves US dollars. But in this new system, India can just pay directly in its own digital currency, the rupee, using its incredibly popular UPI platform. The BRICS Pay network would act like a digital ledger, confirming the transaction, and boom, Saudi Arabia gets paid. No dollars, no US banks, no friction. It's faster, cheaper, and totally independent. And to make this all work together, they're developing a new settlement instrument, which they're calling the unit. Now, the key here is what it's backed by. Its value would be tied to a basket of real assets, 40% gold and 60% of the BRICS member currencies. That gold backing is a huge deal. It provides real, tangible stability, which is a direct response to critics of the current system, where currencies aren't backed by any physical commodity.
Now, a financial system is only as strong as the real-world economy behind it, and this is where BRICS Plus has a massive advantage. They are, for all intents and purposes, a resource super-bloc with control over a truly staggering amount of the world's most vital commodities.
Let's start with energy. Once you bring countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Russia into the fold, the bloc suddenly controls almost 44% of all global oil production. They are, quite simply, the new center of gravity for the world's energy market. And it's the exact same story with food. BRICS nations produce 44% of the world's grain. When you control that much of the world's energy and food, you hold some serious economic leverage. But this is the real knockout statistic. The BRICS controls 72% of the world's rare earth minerals. These are the essential ingredients for all modern technology.
We're talking everything from your smartphone and electric cars to the most advanced military hardware. It all depends on resources from BRICS nations.
And they're not just sitting on these resources, they're building new ways to control how they're sold. A perfect example is the proposed BRICS grain exchange. The goal here is simple. Instead of having prices for their own grain set in Chicago or London, they want to set the prices themselves. It would cut out Western markets and protect their economies from outside speculation. So, you put all this together, the economic power, the financial tools, the resource control, what does it all mean? Are we heading toward a future where the world is split into two competing economic blocs? This is where India's unique role on the global chessboard becomes so important. I mean, just look at this incredible balancing act. On one side, India is a founding member of BRICS, literally designing this new non-Western system. But on the other side, it's a key member of the Quad, a strategic partnership with the US, Japan, and Australia. India calls this strategic autonomy. It's basically building an alternative platform while also staying a vital partner to the West. It wants to be a bridge, not a builder of walls. Of course, that balancing act could be put to the test. You have to wonder, what happens if the US responds aggressively, maybe with huge tariffs on any country that moves away from the dollar? That could force everyone to pick a side, creating a hard split in the global economy. But then there's the other side of the coin. What if this actually creates more stability? Could a system based on a basket of currencies, anchored by real assets like gold, actually protect the world from the constant ups and downs of a single nation's monetary policy? That, right there, is the ultimate promise of this whole project. So, let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways? First, the move away from the dollar isn't just a theory anymore. It's a real, structural shift with technology and resources to back it up. Second, India is positioning itself as the key architect of this new system, one that is non-Western but not necessarily anti-Western. The end goal here isn't conflict. It's a fundamental rebalancing of global power. The era where one bloc managed the entire global economy is over. A new world is being built right before our eyes.